Guys, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. The purpose of the channel here is to teach you guys to get better at Battle Royale, specifically in this video, Warzone 2. It's all about adapting, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to go out there, grab the fundamentals, and get more wins consistently. If you guys would like to record your gameplay and submit it so I can review it here on the channel, make sure you guys try Outplayed. Utilizing Outplayed to its full potential, you guys are able to go ahead and record all of your gameplay in the background. It doesn't tank your frames, it doesn't make your game lag. And also the best part about it is you can edit within the software. With Outplayed, you guys can record your gameplay seamlessly in the background and not even think about it. Not only does it record your entire gameplay, but it also breaks down each and every time you get a kill, an assist, or die, and the list goes on. It also supports a ton of games, so the options are endless. Not only that, but you're able to share it with your friends through Discord and other apps as well. But guys, use my link in the pinned comment below and try Outplayed today for free. Guys, one of the most important part of being not only a gamer, but a Battle Royale gamer is being able to adapt to the changes that we're forced to take on from BR to BR. All right, Alaskan Wolf, what you got, brother?
Yay. Same team, well, they were just both coming from both angles then, I don't know. They got killed by somebody else and they assassinated them, so. So I got a gun, I gotta pick up a gun off the...
I wasn't gonna win, but I realized since it's duos and not solos like it used to be, I might as well help out my teammate. It's not their fault I'm spectating this game. I'm gonna end up icing myself in it. And again, the purpose of these videos is to help you guys get out there and get better at the game. Again, I was once a shitter, and I know that with just the correct push, you guys can be way better than you ever thought you could. All right, first up, we're spectating Kai must win, as well as not that guy, pal. Now, we're not gonna be really talking too much about the issues with their looting, just because the looting system's so messed up, but the same principle does apply. As they fix the looting, you guys wanna get as loot as fast as possible, get in, get out, and start going for money. Now, the first tip I wanna give you guys is where to go. Also, side note, it doesn't show their teammates in the kill cam or the spectating cam, so it's gonna look really weird. But the first thing you guys need to do is land to where there's a lot of money. One spot I recommend landing is gonna be this area here. I believe it's a bank, not too sure, could be a grocery store. I really haven't paid much attention, but this area here, next to the giant building in Al Mazrah City, this has a lot of loot, as well as gas stations. A lot of times you guys can get, oh no. A lot of times you guys can get huge bags from gas stations. All right, so let's talk about this fight first. We saw a lot of jumping from Kai, and that's kind of the point of adapting. This game here, you definitely want to try to jump while you're shooting. Again, never really plant your feet. You want to create some movement to make the enemy's tracking a lot more difficult than it is if you're just standing there. And that's kind of what he was doing in a sense. He kind of left that cover way too much than he probably should have. The building that he was playing right there, he should have just held it. He should have hugged it, kept his body near it. He threw himself out in the open. He got real lucky that enemy couldn't hit us, as well as us. We couldn't really hit the enemy. So again, bad gun skill on both these players' part, and a lot of you guys have bad gun skill as well. A lot of us are trying to learn the new recoil, learn the new weapons, and it's a little difficult. So while we're learning, while we're struggling, and even when we've mastered it, play your cover and concealment. Stay next to hard cover. That way, if you are getting outshot, you can bounce back and try to outplay the enemy with your brain, not just your gun skill. It was a 2v1 and we almost threw it because of our overzealous attacking nature. We jumped out in the open like it was Warzone 1, and again, most of the times that will get you guys killed. We've got a lot of AI in the map, and I'm gonna be honest, it gets a little overwhelming trying to decipher AI from players. It's gotten me and my teammates killed a lot. It's a real pain in the butt. If you guys want to do the strongholds, by all means do it. You can get your loadout, you can get a lot of money, you can get cool guns, and it is a lot of fun. But as far as the strategy of outplaying enemies, it can get real hectic real fast. Now, saying that, tip number 2, if you guys are doing strongholds, make sure you guys are aware of other enemies pushing y'all. You want to be looking out the windows and I say listening for footsteps, LOL. You want to be looking out the windows and staying aware, because if enemies do push in, you're going to get blown right through. And again, it's real hard to decipher enemies from AI. And look at that, 2 enemies, 2 real players came in. Luckily, not that guy was able to, again, solo both players, but we were so focused on the loot, we weren't looking around. We assumed everyone was AI, and we just kind of thugged through the shots to our head. So Kai made a huge mistake there, but luckily his teammate was there to back him up. Now we're spectating duos because duos is a lot more manageable. Solos has been a huge snooze fest, and quads is just crazy. With time to kill and 30 people shooting at you at once, it's just too much right now. So we're gonna stick with duos and kind of just get a little bit of teamwork and build off of that. Now let's talk about teamwork. Tip number 3. You need to be there for your squad member. You have to. A lot of guys are off running on their own, trying to solo split, do this and that, and a lot of great players can somewhat do that. A lot of great players can't yet. There's a huge learning curve, but with saying that, you guys need to hug butts. You don't have to camp, you don't have to sit in corners, but move together. The last thing I want to see are players splitting off and getting 2v1 or 4v1 because their teammate thinks something's more important than the other. Me, myself, and my team, we struggle with that right now. We're trying to adapt because we are solo pushers in Warzone. Now that we're playing Warzone 2, we're trying to break those, I don't want to say bad habits because they're not really bad. I want to break those old habits and again, go back to the fundamentals of, say, PUBG, where you guys play positioning, rotation, using strategy and teamwork to outplay enemies. For instance, we ran into a couple of goats yesterday who were playing together. They were stacked. Normally in Warzone 1, they're solo pushing, but they were stacked together. Luckily, we outplayed them, but it was a hard fought fight just because, again, we were together, they were together, and it created a nice balanced fight as opposed to most of the enemies we run into when they're just kind of split. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you guys are looting, like you'll be looting here, your teammates looting here, your other teammates here. In Warzone 1, I believe you could have got away with that. So again, with that tip, guys, loot together, play somewhat together. This is a learning phase. We can all go out and eventually get good where we can solo split and we can take on the world by ourselves. But right now, you guys need to play as a unit, play as a squad. It's learning phase. If you guys are going off right now solo splitting and you're getting constantly shit on, guess what's gonna happen? Not much. You're gonna die. It's gonna be real hard to get your reps in with your gunplay if you're consistently getting outnumbered and stacked when your teammate's off doing his own thing. Now, this leads to tip number 4, guys. Communication is absolutely key. If you guys are giving comms and your teammate or you are not listening to each other, you need to find either another teammate or adapt to work together. This is something, again, I'm guilty of and my squad's guilty of that we're trying to master, we're trying to mend, is if I make a comm, my team being like, all right, let's do it. Or if my teammate makes a comm, I'm like, all right, let's get it. And have some banter. If your teammate makes a comm and it's a bad play, tell them why it's a bad play and try to work it out. You don't have to be a dick. The last thing you want to do is piss off your teammate, but make comms and work together. If you guys are playing duos, trios, quads, and you're not working together, you might as well play solo. It's gonna be a lot easier experience for you. And right now with these guys, you know, we haven't seen much action, and a lot of you guys aren't seeing much action in this map. It's a massive map. We're still trying to learn rotations, still trying to figure out where to go. But I will say, the one thing I do like is the fact that they're playing together. So we're spending a lot of time doing strongholds, killing AI, which, you know, it's fine if that's what you enjoy. By all means, get it how you live. However, again, be prepared for other enemies to push you. If good players or aware players hear gunfighting, you need to pay attention. And I have a feeling we're going to be witnessing Kai a lot of tunnel visioning, all what his teammates doing, and getting clapped in the side of the head by another duo, just like he did in the first AI fight. All right, tip number 6, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you is stop using scopes. It's weird to say. I know Warzone 1, we all focused on utilizing, you know, the 2.5x, the 3.5, the VLK, scopes like that, because it helped with recoil and especially having a little bit of better sight at range targets. But now your scopes give you a lot more visual recoil, so it's harder to control the recoil patterns. For the past few days, I've been losing my absolute mind trying to figure out why I have so much recoil, why I can't control it. And I'm a mouse and keyboard player, and I've been controlling recoil mouse and key since Counter-Strike 1.6. But I realized iron sight or blue dot or any kind of red dot, to be honest. With iron sights, a lot of guns have okay iron sights. A lot of guns have crazy, ugly iron sights with the little curve thing. It's hard to see the enemies. So whatever gun you guys are using, make sure, and I recommend iron sight or red dot. If it's got a bad iron sight, of course, put the red or the blue dot on, and you'll have a lot better time with visual recoil and controlling that recoil than you will with something like this. All right, let's talk about the zones. So this is the first battle royale where we've had 3 zones and multiple zones, right? With saying that, I don't really believe it's created a crazy dynamic for positioning and rotations. In fact, I feel like it's kind of gotten a little bit easier with the amount of circles. The other day we were playing and there was a whole circle that we rotated through and we didn't find another player at all. The moment we crossed into this town with another circle, everyone and their mom was there. So I feel like the idea for the multiple circles really hasn't worked too much. So with saying that, don't really focus on the multiple zones. Just play it as you would if it was one zone and rotate to the next should it be the favorite. So with these 3 zones, there's really not anywhere I'd recommend going. This could go anywhere. I've got a huge feeling the circle's going to finish somewhat in the center. So I say all of that to lead to the fact that a lot of people are panicking in multiple zones. Just play the zone you're in like it's the only zone, and once it rotates, just be aware of where the other zones are so you can catch enemies rotating in as well. For instance, just quickly looking at the map, if the next zone's here, of course you're gonna have a lot of people coming through here, a lot of people coming through here, a lot of people coming through here. So it's gonna get a little intense on the edge of the zones. You can pre-rotate that, get more dead center, which I don't recommend. And we'll cover how to play in-game circles towards the end game, because that is the most crucial time to really predict the zone. Again, with the one circle in Warzone 1, I felt like it was a lot better to predict, but now it's just not that necessary. It's end game where it really comes down to where you're positioned at, how fast you rotate, and who's got the high ground. Right now we're on this silo, and I really don't know why. We're vulnerable at 360 degrees. Sure, we have the high ground on the area around us, but there's no one here, so there's really no reason to be here. Little bit wasted time, not too mad at it. Again, I'm pretty sure they're just trying to wait for the next zone, but again, just wasted time. Here is something else I recommend for you guys, especially when you're just starting off in Warzone 2. Get aggressive. Now, I'm not saying like hop out in the open and slide cancel around corners and put yourself in stupid positions like we did in Warzone 1, but early game, when you drop somewhere hot. Stop focusing on winning right now. Get the reps in with fighting. Your pistol gameplay, your ground loot gameplay, your loadout gameplay. You want to try your best to, every time you land, do better and better and better. A lot of players like this will have 1 kill, will have 3 kills, and they'll end up playing the entire match just to die. Why? Because they don't have that gameplay and that experience to go out there and win their fights. 2, don't spend too much time on the loadout drop. They were on that thing for way too long. I know looting is kind of a nightmare right now, but loadout drops the same premise. Click the loadout, grab what you want, get in and get out. The loadouts are for everyone now, not just you. So guess what? Other players will be coming to you guys. Make sure y'all are paying attention to that.
Get to the new safe zone.
You can see the slide cancel habit still hard to get rid of. There he is again. Putting himself in the open with the revolver instead of playing the container. Big mistake there. Luckily, the enemy wasn't able to get hits off. And we go into loot just to get shot in the head. Now, it was a little strange. That was a little strange. Now, 2v2 gulag is a little bit of a nightmare. I'm not a fan of it as well, but you guys need to at least try to win your fights. But moving on to live real Libra, rocking 6 kills. Team's doing a little bit better. Let's see how he regains. Now, let's cover regain situations. They're a bitch. They're a nightmare. You're coming down into an area that's already got enemies that already have their loadout. You're coming down an area that's already been looted. It's gonna be hard to find money. It's gonna be hard to find your guns. Luckily for him, he's got 10 grand, so it's not that difficult. But normally you guys will not be coming back with that much. So what do you do? Well, I always recommend try to remember where the loadout drops land at and land back on them again if you haven't already grabbed it. It's good to take a mental snapshot of the map and remember where the loadouts dropped. That way, if you did grab one of them and you come back from the Goodly, you can go to another one. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to do that because it's hard to predict if you're gonna die or not, but just make a mental screenshot again. Just look at the map, be like, okay, this is the plane route for the loadouts. These are where they dropped, and just make your best, and just try your best to get back to one. I prefer getting my loadie before getting money and get my teammate back if I can do so. Now, if loadout's completely gone, you have no loadouts, of course, land somewhere that's got some money. This area probably isn't the best one, but over here with a lot of buildings would be. And again, I'm not going to really harp right now on looting because it is a nightmare. You have to get that perfect area to pick things up, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So again, we're not going to go too hard on it, but while one of your teammates is looting, make sure the other one's just at least staying near him and protecting him. We have 23 enemies up. We have 10 kills as a squad, and the circle is relatively small. Now look at this. We already predicted the circle is going to go center. They're going in the exact same areas we already predicted. That wasn't really hard. So I would pre-rotate. Why would I pre-rotate? Well, if we wait too long, we're going to be on the edge of the circle and the zone's going to force us out, right? And I know I'm covering the screen. Trust me, you're not going to miss anything. So if we wait till the very last second, guess what's going to happen? We're not going to have any cover concealment. So all of these guys that get to these buildings and hold these buildings, they'll be in a position to gatekeep us. So the moment that this zone was identified, my ass would have already been making my way to them, to the next zone. You want to grab the buildings, and honestly, normally I would say play the edge, but because of the amount of buildings in the zone and the fact that you can never tell where the next zone is going to go, I would grab the most central building, this one right here. You could make an argument to push across the street and grab this one, but again, I want to avoid the wide open when I know enemies going to be around. And I want to try my best to, again, get to a building that's safe for me to get to. Not sure why we grabbed the vehicle. Look at him sitting in a bush. Oh, God, no. So what's going to happen with this squad? Well, anything could happen, honestly. Again, everyone's playing very, very passive. No one's really got their thumb on the game. Without them pre-rotating, they run a huge risk of enemies, the other 16 players, of getting to these buildings and gatekeeping us as we're out in the open. Let's see what happens. Oh, God. And now, sometimes bush plays are important. If you guys are watching my live stream, we had a game where we were wearing the Jack Link Sasquatch ghillie suit, and we were playing quads, and my homie Baba was in a 1v like 15, and he won the game by utilizing his skin and bushes to outplay quads. So sometimes bush plays are necessary, but when it comes to positioning, you guys got to get to a better spot. Also, when it comes to buildings like this, especially in game or even throughout the entire game, you guys want to get to a building that has a rooftop access. Yeah. Having the first floor, second floor, that's cool, but having the rooftop access gives you a lot more options. All right. For fighting enemies. When you're in the second floor, you have to rely on windows being over here, and sometimes, some walls won't even have a window, so you're blinded from that side of the building. And the last thing you want is to allow enemies to push into your building. Why? Because you have no footstep audio. So staying on a rooftop, being able to watch 360 degrees is super valuable right now until they fix the audio of footsteps and the audio of doors being kicked in. Can't tell me time someone kicked the door in right next to me and I didn't hear it. Again, not really sure what the hell we're doing. We're at end game. These are the times we need to hunker down, lock it down, focus up, lock it in, and get to a good positioning. This building right here, that's game changing. Just get to the roof. Get to the roof of that building. You win the game. There's just no doubt about it. You're going to win the game. But instead, we're doing God knows what.
You're nearly done.
This is a huge mistake. Your boy's driving a vehicle around, which again is on the minimap for everyone, so everyone knows where he's at. He's waiting for us. And no matter what happens to the vehicle, if he gets out and there's a competent squad nearby, they're going to hunt him down. You're essentially putting a most wanted bounty on yourself. Now let's talk about Real Libra right quick. Not really sure why we're in this position. Again, we had the option to grab this building. This is the best one to go to. You have to pre-rotate these. The last thing you want to do is allow another team to grab it. And since we took so damn long, if we decide to go in that building, they've already got it locked down and we don't stand a chance in hell. They could be randoms. Raza is playing like he's kind of being a D-bag, but I'm not too sure. I'd be raging right now if that was my teammate. I would be losing my mind. Also, here's another issue. Oh yeah, look at these guys. Look what's about to happen to them because they didn't pre-rotate. It's a perfect example. I hate that camera angle. I don't know why it does that. And they're fighting too. Here's another weird thing. We went from 15 enemies to 6 enemies and we only heard 1 gunfight, the gunfight we were in. 2, we just saw an enemy cross the fence line to the left-hand side under the tower, but he didn't see it because he was not paying attention. There he is, left side, big glint. Okay, interesting.
Moving.
Again, I'd rather be on the rooftop of this building. I'm gonna say that heart down throat because this is a huge mistake. They may win, but again, strategy and rotations dictate grab that damn building and play a little bit safer. It is a 2v. It's a 1v1. His teammate died, and again, that's his own fault for not playing with us. It's a 1v1v1. We've got an enemy locked in this building. Not sure where the next one's at. And look, I don't care if he gets the win or not. I know this video is titled How to Get More Wins, but we're talking about consistently. We're not talking about getting lucky, and I promise you, I believe this win is completely luck because everything they've done at Endgame has been completely wrong. They just got really lucky. All 3 of these enemies got lucky that all 3 of these guys are playing terrible. No hate, but they essentially are. Now, this is a good spot to be in as far as this guy in the building, but what about the 3rd player? We don't know where he is. So the guy in this building is going to have to come out past us, and there's a good shot we can get an easy kill on him. But again, where's the other dude at? By the wall. Glass broke behind us. I don't think he heard that. So what went wrong there for him? Well, he didn't cover it. He didn't have any hard cover at all. Nor did he care about hard cover. He kept sitting in the middle of the open, doing 360-degree turns, not paying attention to not only the enemy we heard coughing the gas on the side of the wall, so we knew where he was, but secondly, we weren't even caring about the other enemy. All right, now let's talk about smoked out. We have a building rooftop. The enemy could possibly be in our building, but we should at least be looking around because he might not. He could be crouch walking by a tree. He could be behind one of these boxes, but we don't know because why? We're just sitting there laying prone, not really looking. There's the enemy right there. And the Finnick once again destroys the hell out of players because its TTK is ridiculous at close range. That game right there was just a very slow paced game. Most of them are, so that's fine. But again, when you're in a situation like this and you're playing a rooftop, you have to look around. We could have saw that enemy come out way long ago. We almost died when we challenged him. And again, why put ourselves in that position? I don't really think he got lucky because he had the Finnick, he had the better gun, and he outshot the enemy. He did a good job, but why put yourself in that position when we could have probably killed him from the rooftop earlier on? The amount of times I see players that I kill, see players I'm spectating, or even teammates of mine, randoms of mine that are laying prone and not looking around because they're scared. The amount of times I've seen that is insane. Make sure you're paying attention. It's hard for you guys to be observant out there if you're laying prone staring at an AC unit. So guys, get out there, get better, improve. Trust me, if I can have a high KD, so can you guys. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel today for more tips and tricks. Leave a like on the video. And also, if you guys want me to break down your gameplay here on the channel, make sure you record it and submit it to me through Discord. The link to Discord will be in the description below. And you can also join the Discord to utilize the Looking for Groups page to find friends to play with. But guys, until next time, man, y'all have a good one and good luck in Warzone.